Well, welcome to Austin Star Money, Business, and You. I'm your host, Mike Stein. Today I'm pleased to present to you Kevin Hollemans. Kevin is Vice President of the Solomon Group, which is a wealth management company. Kevin, tell us about yourself and the Solomon Group.
Well, it's great to be here, Mike. I appreciate your time. I am a Vice President with the Solomon Group, and we are a wealth management company whose creed is to honor God and to help people. And that's kind of where we go with people, and we help educate them. As far as money goes, and our mission is to help people, care for people in the world of finances. We do it a plethora of ways. The first way we do it is we have a tax office, that we have a CPA on staff, as well as, of course, we have the investment component in insurance, life and health. But we also do a lot as far as real estate, mortgage, and work in the legal realm a little bit. So we kind of view ourselves as a produce department, if you will, for money purposes.
Excellent. Wow, this must be a pretty powerful process that you guys have going here.
Well, you know, we believe it is a powerful process, Mike, and it's powerful in several ways. One is the first step, if you will. We have 5 steps that we believe people should be a part of, and the first step is vision. We believe that everybody should have a vision of where they want to go. As far as retirement goes, you know, the best way to have a vision is to know where you're at. And a lot of times that's kind of a slap in the face for people to sit down and work with a budget for the first time maybe and see where they are number-wise. But to have a vision of what does retirement look like for you, you know, 20, 30, 40 years from now, and that's a great thing.
Well, that's excellent. Tell us a little bit about the process you take people through, Kevin.
Wonderful. Well, you know, like I said, the first step is vision. And, you know, let me ask you a question, Mike. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
That'd be pretty easy. I'd love to go back to Hawaii.
Oh, wonderful. Great, great. Well, let me ask you, what is the one question that I would need to ask you in order to get you to Hawaii is where you wanted to go?
Well, I think the biggest thing would be, how much does it cost?
Well, that is a big factor in a lot of people's world. But let me ask you, if cost wasn't an object, what would have to happen? Well,
I guess you'd need to know where I was, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we are with the vision process. Is we say, okay, where are you at? What do you want to accomplish? How much money do you need at retirement? Most people don't know how much money they need for retirement. And so we facilitate the process of coming up with that number, and then we help people achieve their dreams whenever it comes to that. So that's a great thing.
Excellent.
You know, Mike, we had a lady come into our office, and we do an educational program called Money University.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a 5-week process that we bring people through, and it's all educational. No products are sold in any way, shape, or form. But we had a lady come to our office, and it was the first night of the class, and we were an hour into it, and we always take a 10-minute break. And we came back from the class and from the break, and she raised her hand and she said, I have a question. And the instructor said, okay, what's your question? She said, well, I have $100,000 and I need to do something with it tonight. And and so Cash Matthews, our president, was conducting the class, and he said, you know, if you need to do something with it tonight, I'm probably not your guy. And the reason why is because I don't know what you want. I don't know where the money is. I don't know if it's in a CD or an IRA. I don't know what do you want to do with the money, or how long do you want to hold on to the money. I really don't know what you want to do. So really, if you need to do something with it in the next 24 hours, I'm probably not the guy. And shocked as she may be, and obviously they talked afterwards, and in the process became a client. But you know, those are the type of things that we help. And we're not out to make a quick buck. We're out to educate people because we believe in empowering people.
Excellent, and excellent. That's really good to hear, because a lot of people wouldn't have been so ethical in that situation.
Sure.
So, were you able to help the lady out?
And we were, you know, and she came in for a follow-up, which we do, and she, you know, she's a client today.
That's fantastic. So vision is a core principle in the process. It sounds like that's number one. What would be the second thing in the process?
Well, the second thing, Mike, is preventing irreversible mistakes.
Interesting. And what would you consider an irreversible mistake to be, Kevin?
Well, an irreversible mistake is a mistake that you can't take back. It's something that you can't reverse. So, you know, an example of that would be death.
Right. that one you cannot take back, I'm afraid.
Right, and so we talk about life insurance, and our view of life insurance is vision completion. If someone comes to us and we lay out a vision of what they want and how to get there, life insurance then becomes a vision completion component rather than just a product, and so that's a good thing. The second irreversible mistake we talk about with people is taxes.
Okay.
Taxes is a huge part of the American society.
It is.
But let me ask you a question, Mike. If you and I were friends,
okay,
and you came to me and said, I would like to, if I came to you rather,
okay,
and I said, I'm going to give you some money.
All right.
And I just want you to hold on to it. And then at the end of the year, I just want you to give it back to me. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. And I guess I'm kind of wondering why anyone would do that.
It's a great point. And the situation is, though, is that 86% of Americans, according to the IRS website, overpay their taxes. So they lend money to the government at 0% interest. Now, I don't know why anybody would do that.
No.
But they would just to get it back again 12 months later. And so the question I ask is, on an average, people overpay their taxes $3,000.
My goodness.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
And so what I ask people sitting there in my office is, would you rather have $3,000 at one time at 0% interest that's your money? Or would you rather have a pay raise, so to speak, of $250 in your paycheck? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, I can't make it as it is. I would much rather have more money in my paycheck. And so that's kind of where we go with that.
Interesting, interesting. So it sounds like this step here involves savings, basically.
Yeah, to a degree. You know, we believe that, you know, another component of irreversible mistakes is time. Okay. Procrastination is a huge irreversible mistake. Absolutely. And just not getting started. And so we try to get people on the right path, and so time is big. It's the one thing that Donald Trump would trade with the newborn that was born in Seton Hospital last night. I mean, it is essential and imperative to get started, and it's one of those things that people just don't take time out of their busy schedule. We are so busy in today's society to really plan for. And we are financial planners, and we pride ourselves in that.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. The third step then is savings.
Okay.
And savings is a big part of what we do. We really encourage people to have a 3 to 6 month rainy day fund.
Very important.
Yeah, very important. And so, you know, I truly believe that people should have set aside some money because, you know, if it's July in Texas and you don't have a rainy day fund, you're going to put it on a charge card. as far as an air conditioner going out or something of that nature. And so it's one of those deals where we believe that people should have it, and we encourage them to do so. It's kind of odd for a financial company to talk about vision, to talk about preventing irreversible mistakes, and to talk about savings before we even get to investing. But 65 to 70% of what we do involves the first 3 steps. It's that important and that monumental in people's lives.
Absolutely, and it really sounds like you've got the client's best interest at heart here, I must say.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I don't know why people would go ahead and not set money aside for emergencies. It's really important for people to do that.
Sure.
You want to go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on the next of the points there?
Yeah, well, I mean, savings, people come to me and say, okay, you know, I'm thin as it is.
Okay.
You know, where in the world can I save?
Okay.
What kinds of things? And I tell them this, you know, do you save your change?
Okay.
You know, do you, you know, because of our debit and credit society, it's a lot easier to do that. But most people, you know, could you save $100 and change a year? For a lot of people, that just makes sense.
Exactly.
And so, you know, investing $100 over the course of 30, 40 years, you know, at an interest rate is going to be more important. Another test we give people is we say, okay, close your eyes, add up your cell phone bill, add up your internet, how much you're paying for cable. I mean, do you really need 340 channels? I don't know. You be the judge. But if you're not saving that much, what you're really saying is I'm okay today, but I'm not really saving for the future.
Exactly.
And, you know, saving is a big part of what we do. We say sell something. Save change, maybe temporarily downgrade, get an extra part-time job, you know, because savings is that important in people's lives.
Absolutely, and I guess I really never considered how much that would be when you add that up over the course of many years.
Yes, yes. And, you know, what we talk about a lot in our office is the slight errors of judgment. You know, savings is easy to do, but it's easy not to do. And so anything that's easy to do is easy not to do. And we talk to people about doing the easy things, the mundane things that we don't think are going to make a big difference in our life. And in reality, they make a huge difference in our life. You know, habits. You know, I get the fact of exercise on a regular, ongoing basis is very important. It's very easy to do, but you know what? It's easy not to do either. I would much rather be watching a basketball game or a football game rather than getting on a treadmill. That just makes more sense to me, but health-wise, it would make a lot more sense to do the thing that's easy to do as well.
Absolutely, and it really sounds like you're focusing on the whole lifestyle here.
Yeah, we are, and you know, we're just not in it for the money aspect of people's lives. We understand that people have things going on in their life that they need help with, and if we can be part of one component, that's great. But that one component, money, bleeds into every other area that they take on, whether it's extracurricular activities with your son or daughter, whether it's going to work, you know, the water cooler conversations, you know, April 15th is just around the corner, whether the tax situations, have you done your taxes yet, who are you using? So there's a large, you know, just lifestyle is what we're talking about.
Absolutely, and it's very obvious from hearing you talk, because a lot of companies just focus on making a dollar today. They don't focus on the long-term good of their client.
Well, we believe in relationships, and relationships for the long term.
Excellent.
If I can get a 25-year-old saving just a little bit of money, I'm thinking 20, 30 bucks a month is not a whole lot, but if I can get them in a relationship and I get them saving, and we go through the steps of what they want and vision-wise and irreversible mistakes and savings. You know, I want to be their financial planner. I don't want to be their financial guru for today.
Right.
And so I want to be there 30, 40, 50 years from now to see them retire.
Excellent.
And so that's a real passion of ours at the Solomon Group.
Excellent. So tell me, Kevin, what's the fourth step?
Well, that's a great question. The third step, obviously, is savings. The fourth step, then, is investing for the long term.
Okay.
Investing for the long term is a huge component to the process. You know, there's really three risks to investing.
Okay.
The first risk is that of market volatility. I'm not here today to have a crystal ball and know what the market's going to do or what it's not going to do. But market volatility is a risk whenever it comes to the investing world. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about a 401k, IRA, any investment product, the ebbs and flows of the market, those sort of things. The second risk then is that of inflation. Inflation, you know, we were talking about the slight edge, the little decisions that people make. It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. Inflation is kind of that way. You know, historically, inflation has been 4%.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 4%. So that means in 18 years, I'm 36 right now.
Okay.
So at 54 in 18 years, I'm either going to have to double my income or I'm going to have to learn to live on half. That is huge whenever it comes to looking forward thinking. That
Absolutely.
means the average person out there that makes $45,000 today, in 18 years, they're going to have to make $90,000 just to keep up with their same lifestyle.
Absolutely. And that's not, as you're saying, that's not even increasing their lifestyle. That's just keeping up with it.
Yes, absolutely. And so inflation is a big risk whenever it comes to that. The third risk then is that of taxes. We've already discussed taxes a little bit with the irreversible mistakes. But taxes is a big thing out there because, you know, there's these programs out there as far as an IRA or a 401k or a 403b, 457, you know, where you put in pre-tax dollars.
Okay.
So you work all your life, and at 65, you have $1 million. I'm just using this as an example, okay? So at 65, you have $1 million, and the tax rate on $1 million today is 39%.
Okay.
So $390,000 of the million is off the table before you even see a dime.
Wow.
So that is a big factor in investing, as well as period.
Absolutely.
in a person's portfolio, retirement portfolio. So we focus on the long term, and we focus on you know, litigating those risks so that people can retire with dignity. Let me ask you a question, Mike.
Sure.
Have you ever heard the saying, knowledge is power?
Absolutely, I have.
Yeah, yeah. And most people have. The reality is, if knowledge was power, the professors of our colleges and universities would be the billionaires. Mm-hmm. And I would be skinny. Mm-hmm. Because I've read all the books.
Okay.
I know all the stuff, right? I know the Atkins diet, I know the cabbage diet, the grapefruit diet. I know all these diets, and if knowledge were power, but that's just not the case. The case is this, and the answer is this: applied knowledge. That is where the power is.
So that's the key.
That is the key. And so we just try to use our knowledge and apply it to people's situations and really help them out in a world where a lot of people need help.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, I hear what you're saying, and about vision, preventing irreversible mistakes, savings, investing. I would imagine there's probably a fifth component to this. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the fifth component is getting out of debt.
Okay.
And debt in America is a pandemic. Mm-hmm. And it is one of those things that people get into subtly, and it overtakes them, and all of a sudden they're drowning, and they don't see a way out, and so they file bankruptcy. You know, one of my passions, Mike, is talking to young people out there.
Okay.
And we've partnered with several high schools over the years, and just going in and talking to them about money and how to use money effectively in their life. And the reason why it's a passion of mine is because I've worked with students for years, number one. But number two, whenever they go off to college, they're barraged by credit cards and companies saying, hey, fill out this application and we'll give you a free t-shirt. And so how much really is that free t-shirt? I mean, that's the question I ask, right?
That's a great point.
And the question is how much is that free t-shirt? And so we go into it and we say, all right, you have this credit card, and you tell yourself, because I told myself, and you probably did as well, that it's only for emergencies. You know, this credit card is only for emergencies. And so our car breaks down. Well, that's an emergency, right? And then so we justify it, you know, 4 or 5 weeks into the semester and say that 2 a.m. pizza run because I'm hungry, and if I don't eat, that is an emergency. And so the average person out there will put, as far as college students, will put $12,000 of personal credit card debt on their credit cards before they graduate.
Oh my, that's huge.
That is huge. In fact, the second largest demographic of people filing bankruptcy in this country is 19 to 24-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
That is staggering to me.
I never would have guessed that. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So that is a huge deal. It's a huge component of what we deal with. We want everybody to be out of debt. There are many people out there that put getting out of debt step 1 or step 2. But here's our philosophy in this. If we start with vision, Mike, and we prevent irreversible mistakes, and we save for a rainy day, and we invest for the long term, once we are out of debt, we are completely free. And freedom, you'll attest to this, freedom is a great thing.
It absolutely is.
Whenever it comes to money. And we think that's a huge thing.
Absolutely. Well, this is quite a process. What would you say that the most important thing for our audience here to take away from our time together is? What would you say the number one thing people should know? Well,
that's a great question, Mike, and I appreciate you asking it. The number one takeaway, and the one thing that I encourage whenever I talk to people, and I don't care if they're an 18-year-old or they're 65, because it's never too late, is to take action. Do something. And do something every day that's going to affect your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids, because I truly believe that is something that most people just sit around. They're complacent, you know. They live for the weekend. I mean, Friday at 5 o'clock is great, and they can't wait to get in traffic and do the weekend thing, only to begrudge Monday morning. And so our focus is getting people to think beyond themselves and think for their kids and for their grandkids and leave a legacy and actually do something. And we think that, you know, self-responsibility is a big thing. Taking responsibility for yourself and just saying, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it with passion and enthusiasm. And you know, whether I fail or not is really not the question. The question is getting out there and doing something.
Absolutely.
And so whenever it comes to money, I truly believe that doing something is a big part. And you know, it doesn't have to be with us. I'm not calling people to action for that. We're an educational company, but we're also in the money business, obviously, and the things I've said today. But find someone that has a heart of has a heart of a teacher, and has a heart of a teacher that really wants to teach you and plan with you, not just for you. There's a lot of people out there that take what you give them as far as information goes, and they say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Find somebody out there that says, hey, I think that this might be something to think about, or this might be something that I would encourage you to look into, rather than this is what we're going to do for you, and really not give the person a choice. And so the big takeaway here is do something, self-responsibility, and take action.
Absolutely, and it certainly looks like you brought this into some easy steps for people, and make it something that could be a pretty scary process seem pretty easy to start with and move forward with.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, this has been a wonderful, wonderful experience for our audience here. Again, my guest, Kevin Hollemans with the Solomon Group.
Well, thanks for having me, Mike.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And today's show has been brought to you by Austin Star Insurance. Our address is www.austinstarinsurance.com, and I can be reached for comment on this show in regards to our guest here at 512-923-1273.